Okay, welcome to our Happy Melly Seminar. After a few glitches, we are on, and we are with Shirly. Super excited to have you. Shirly Ronen Harel, who's going to be talking about a lot of different things today. Agile, anything else you want to discuss. And so, yeah, Shirly, take it away. It's like an intimate discussion, question, answer. So if people want to jump in and ask questions, go for it. Yeah? And we'll just have a conversation.
Yeah. So Sam, your line is really, really bad. So if you experience my line like this, please tell me.
No, you're good. You're good. Yes, my line is bad, so I won't talk. You do most of the talking.
Okay. So first, I would really like to know who's in here. Maybe short introduction so we can frame the talk to bring you all value.
It's Christian speaking. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Christian. I'm a Agile project leader and facilitator in a big company. And I see on a regular basis you paperly or things you're posting. And I wanted to take the occasion to have a conversation with you, as every time I have a great value from them. And I'm struggling basically with helping team in big corporate, getting the agile mindset and evolving, going away from the comfort zone and trying new things, with the ultimate goal of building great things with ease and fun. And the more I want it, the more I find it difficult to get it.
Aren't we all?
So that's for me.
Okay.
Hi, Helen. My name is Pierre. I'm a Management 3.0 facilitator, started since August of October last year. I'm relatively new to all this and just trying to expand my toolkit and learn some new things.
Okay. Nice to meet you all. I will introduce myself. My name is Shirly Ronen Harel. This is my long last name. I'm an Agile coach. I work in a company which is mine, called We Change. And we deliver solutions to companies mainly with Agile tools, because Agile tools work. When I say tools, I mean the mindset as well, of course. So without saying too much, I would like to pick your brains today about a subject that usually bothers all of us when we get or to a new customer, or for you, Chris, when we come to a new group or a new account in a big company or something like this, and we wonder, how can we validate our value? How do we know that that we deliver value as Agile coaches? What are the indications? So I want you just to imagine for a minute that that you are into a new customer or new group. What would you do? How would you know? How would you make sure that as fast as you can you have delivered value? What are the signs? Are they different from time to time? What will you do?
Well, the first thing, I will make sure I discover their aspiration. So what do they want and why did they hire me?
Right.
And one of my standard measurement to see if I've done a good job is, do they laugh more after a period with me? And does the job get done easier?
Okay, I'm writing it down in a Google Doc. I will share in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so do they laugh more?
Yeah, after a period of time with me.
Who would you go to find the aspiration from?
I would first find, well, there's two kind of people. First, the people who hire me, so generally in management and stuff like this, and then the team itself.
Okay.
And it could be surprising that only a few of the aspiration match.
When are you doing it?
At the beginning, as soon as possible.
Okay, great. What else?
I give it up to Pierre.
Yeah.
More.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, so one of the topics that is definitely very top of mind for me is to find ways to inspire managers through an agile transformation. Obviously, we know that there's a lot of things that change as the company goes through this, and a very, very hard issue or a very difficult thing to get through is to actually do the transformation of the management team as well as the folks that are the individual contributors in the company. So definitely looking at ways where I can have better ways to either inspire or motivate managers to actually want to make the change. Because at the end of the day, I think that's really what it boils down to is for them to have the desire and motivation to do it. And that's usually where a lot of things get stuck, at least from what I've seen.
So you assume, if I'm understanding you correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that by working with the management and seeing signs of motivation and desire, you deliver value.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's a big enabler of the transformation effort, is being able to achieve that. I think where I've seen most of the transformation efforts stall is when that does not happen.
Okay. Have you ever seen other signs? Try to go back, even close your eyes, go back to your teams. How do you know you deliver value? Try to find times when you felt really, really good about yourself or your performance with the team.
Oh yeah, of course. At the team level, that's a whole different perspective. At the team level, there's any time where you can guide the team through to a new level, to a new accomplishment, to help them achieve things that they were not able to achieve before, as they learn new ways of working, new ways of collaborating together. Those are, those are things that you can celebrate. They're very crisp and very clear, and very much there. So, but the team level is not really where I'm focused on right now. I'm more focused on the management side of things.
Yeah. Okay. I can agree with that. So I've been working with management and teams and big companies, small companies. It's never the same. Mm-hmm. And since I am self-employed, I have my own company. I need to deliver value all the time, sometimes even from the first minute. So I have created, and I've also coaching a huge group of coaches in one of the biggest companies in Israel. So the issue is, how do we know that we provide value is really a strong issue. So we created this list of about 11 signs that we will know that we provide value. And this is what I want to share with you today, and feel free to add examples by your own. So the first one will be Chris' example. This is the first and most important one, that you know that you provide value, that you ask, what will be the value? How will we know that you succeed? What will change look like? What problems would you like us to solve? And is your success story realistic or not? This is also a very important question to ask, because sometimes people want to have fast delivery with low quality, for example. So this is not a realistic success story. So you need to have this conversation about value and expectation. This will be the first one. Do you have any examples of failed success stories? No?
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that example, definitely I saw the case of pretty much what you were describing, where teams were trying to deliver essentially the impossible in a ridiculous time frame, and that was their success story: is just deliver more, more quote unquote crap faster.
Yeah, or you talk with the CFO or higher management, and all they want is accurate delivery dates.
Oh yeah, very predictable
with a set
dates.
of commitments. Yeah.
Yes.
So you need to make sure the expectations are realistic, and this is the first step of delivering value. And this is the first step of evaluating your journey, by the way. If you're taking this job or not taking this job, according to what you hear. The second one, and it's not in this order, but I wonder if you have noticed that once you're in the organization or the group or whatever, you start people start using the language or the jargon of the Agile, especially they start experimenting with the phrases like definition of done, ready, and this jargon is used as a symbol and not as a technical or not in a cynical way. And it starts being filled with the organization meaning for what is definition of done. It's not what we read in the books, but something they have placed inside of it, that when they said definition of done, everyone understood. This is where I know I start delivering value, especially when they talk about definition of done or ready. Is it sound familiar?
Yeah. Sounds familiar to me.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when I don't hear it, I stop and train for it. I do a short training about definition of done and ready. These are signs that must be there in order to deliver. And I will talk about delivery in a minute. I read this article in Illustrated Agile blogs about 8 ways to measure the impact of an Agile coach. I also shared this article because he's speaking there about Mr. Miyagi moments. Do you know about that?
No.
These
Yes.
are proud. Yeah, you know? Do you want to tell about this or should I?
Go ahead. I think you'll probably do a better job than I do explaining it.
Well, it took me some time. It's really intuitive, but do you remember this Karate Kid movie where an old Chinese master is teaching a boy how to control martial arts? And he's speaking about proud moments. When you feel very, very proud, you go out from the team or for a management session, and you feel very proud of what you did. And what we agreed as Agile coaches, that we need to feel at least once a week this feeling of being proud. It can be Miyagi moments inside the team. Let's say we saw a very good daily today, or someone took the direct communication, face-to-face communication to the level we wanted. And it can also be in a management arena, whatever. But we need to feel it. Otherwise, we don't have any campus to understand if we are delivering value. And we also need to charge ourselves. Otherwise, we will be how do you say it? Worn out. Okay, so these moments we make sure to have once a week. Another thing that we see is that the Agile coach becomes kind of a problem-solving help desk, right? People come to us and start asking questions. This is a sign that the process start becoming something that people are dealing with, talking about, considering. I think a more valuable sign will be that someone from the team becomes an Agile help desk station, or someone from the management. Okay? But what will be the most important sign? That without it, all the rest are useless. What do you think? Yeah?
Is it people wanting to change, trusting the environment for change?
What are we here for? What are we there for? What is the only KPI, the only thing that after all our work is matters? Delivery. Okay? We do everything to improve delivery, faster delivery with the highest quality, with a high rate of efficiency. And for that, we need, of course, the right mindset, the right tools, the right framework, the right process, whatever, and the combination of all of them. I want to share my screen, and I want to tell you that I think that higher delivery, that the rate of delivery that raises is actually, it's not the first sign. Sometimes it comes very, very late. But it's the most important one. So I will show you what I mean. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if you can understand this table, but we have a lot of customers, and each and every customer measures their delivery differently. What I'm looking for is the trend. I'm not looking for numbers. So you can have Teams delivery from 89 to 116. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's even higher than 100. As long as I see the signs of value that came before, the understanding of definition of done and the understanding of ready. If those are set, then I know that the delivery rate is usually something that aims to deliver something that can be shippable. I'm usually looking, when I set the expectations at the beginning of an implementation, what you said, Chris, you talk about expectation, what will be the story. We usually try to set the baseline. And you can see an example of a baseline of 1,400 working hours per this group of people. And they're actually delivering 80% at the end of the sprint with few bumps, okay? This is the beginning, and usually people are very pleased with this type of graph. But when you drill into it, you see that the data is not related, is not including testing, and 80% also means 20% over planning and 20% waste of sniffing and tasking and estimation and whatever. And you want in time to start seeing something more like this, okay? You see it grows to 2,000? Yeah, did you see?
Mm-hmm.
2,000 mean that we didn't add any resources or people, we just cleared some waste. This is the first sign. This is the most important sign. Others can look like this in a different organization, and then look like this, and then look like this. Okay, I'm looking for better flow of delivery. This is my sign for delivering value. Rate of sprint, delivery. Do you see the J curve here? The J curve is a sign that we are on our track. Do you see those hips and lows, high and lows? These are signs that something in the process is not so good. So if I want to deliver value, I want to teach them to make these visible signs in a way towards delivery. So we take all of those visible signs and we make them the talk of the day. And we look at them all the time. And we visualize them very publicly. So if I got intervened in sprint 12, I've been there from sprint 12, and then 75%, 60, 64, 40, and then we try to get to the J curve and go back up by reducing waste. If this doesn't exist, I consider myself not delivering value. I will do everything I can to help the organization deliver value.
But there's two other things that factor into this, right? So if you look at a starting point of an organization where, they may be delivering a lot of, product backlog items of very, very low quality. So as you go through this transformation, their rate will actually decrease to achieve an acceptable quality. The other big factor that I found with backlog items is a lot of times you'll see a bunch of backlog items that'll just get thrown away for whatever reason. So that's also a huge factor in determining.
Yeah, and you can also have an inflation of points, just so the graphs will look good. So this is the reason you need to coach them, to make sure those numbers really show what you want them to show. You cannot fool the management. At the end of the day, you cannot fool the management, because everyone can feel very, very good about their burn charts, and then come the manager and say, but we're still so slow. And we still have this issue with quality. And you need to start synthesize to see if it's a different area or you're just not on track. So our role is to make sure we also provide value here, not only in the language, in the jargon, or in the expectations.
Hey, sorry, excuse me. I had a question for you on the measurements.
Yeah.
So measuring product backlog items is one way. I was curious if you had any experience in different ways of measuring value that tends to be less gamey or lends itself less to being manipulated?
Every measurement can be manipulated.
Yes, of course.
So I usually use only velocity. Only velocity with a lot of face-to-face communication with all of them, with all of the people that are involved in the measurements. So we will not be able to manipulate it. And we don't look at the numbers the same way we look at the outcome. The outcome is the goals that we set. So let's say that we set the goals and we met the goals. Now we look at the numbers. And we give them lower and higher rates, and we see if we are in between. We need to be very, very careful with numbers. Usually in big organizations, the numbers are much more important than the outcome, and this is becoming a good ground for manipulation.
Yes.
So I try to keep it simple.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. The next sign that I see, it's not the next in line, but another sign is that the process itself become the topic of conversation. It's like you have a lot of technical people talking about tech stuff and production issues. And, in Israel, when you go to pick a cup of coffee, the conversations in the kitchen are working conversation. So you have tech conversation, testing conversation, and you need to start hearing also a process conversation about how we did things, how was our retrospective, what did we improve, What are we going to do with grooming, with discovery, with sniffing? You need to look for those. If those does not exist, you need to create them. Usually when we have low management support, we don't have the process as the primary conversation. In tech companies, it's very, very hard to have tech people talking about process. It's very easy to have tech people talking about continuous integration, various tools, servers, front end, back end, whatever. Okay? So this is hard job to do, and this delivers. When we talk about the process, it exists. Here is a conversation in the room, usually process. Another one, we can see it. This is an example of a team. The previous picture was an example of a management. This is an example of a team trying to understand where they are in terms of deploying multi-componential versions, okay? So they start discussing also the process and not only the technicalities of the code. We usually see in the meetings visualization of the process and doing it as a group, and not trying to do everything alone. Because when we come to an organization, sometimes they tell us that they do Agile, and then you find out that the manager is setting the entire sprint picture and the entire sprint commitment, and he builds the board. And in the good case, he's asking people for estimations, but in the worst case, he's also estimating. And one of the signs that you know that you're providing value is that these things are being done by the entire team together. And they want to do it together. They see the value in having the conversation, building the sprint together and talking about the process. We also start seeing another sign, which I really try to encourage, is unofficial frequent communication meetings, usually stand-ups, all over. It can be in the middle of a corridor, like you see in the bottom of the screen, like here. We have few teams that had a problem. They just found a corner and decided that they will do it in a daily style. It means that probably something with this way of communication provides value to them. It means that they also see value by having stand-ups, not because someone told them, but because they think it's a good way of solving problems and communication. And when we see those a lot, we know that something is going in the right direction. Here it is again. Unofficial process conversations. Here it is again, near the board. What we also see is that things are really starting to improve, and continuous improvement become also something that we consider. We look at the trends and not at the bottom lines. Remember me showing you before the trends of the burn charts? So we look at the trends, we concentrate in the trends, and we make sure that we see the improvement all the time. We talk about the improvement all the time. This is a group of people going to a conference, because the process and the continuous improvement, besides just being something that we speak about or talk about, it becomes a priority. When the group, the R&D group, the product group, the company, if it's a small company or a big company, decides that the process and continuous improvement is a priority, then we know that we are on the right direction. We know that we provide value. We see in all the meeting rooms a lot of process issues and conversation. Usually we see leftovers of retrospectives on the boards without people moving them. The retrospective is no longer something that you send in emails. By the way, you don't send them by email by that point. If you got to this point, you leave them there, everyone can see. Okay? This is a process conversation and improvement conversation. One of the greatest things that I saw, and really happening, and a good sign for me to probably fade away, is that the time market of new ideas is really, really shortened. Someone wants something, they just do it. They are no longer afraid of new ideas. They are no longer afraid to express new ideas. You find it in big organizations, it's really, really hard to have your own board with sticky notes, because people would like you to have the right tool with the right data inside. And when you build your own board and no one says nothing, then you know it's okay. And it is built in a few days, and it goes from there. You can see people brainstorming in new techniques. In this case, they just took the, not the value stream mapping, I forgot the name, event storming technique, and they used it on the window with the entire team. In the picture, you can see the tech lead, the automation lead, and the product owner and the team. They are all brainstorming in the style of event storming that they invented during the meeting, and no one says nothing. This is a different type of board. This is for a different session. This is a really productivity booster board that we invented a few years ago, and it goes really, really well in some of the companies. And the team decided to take it to a new level of creativity, and it's okay. Okay? And they added things, and I don't know, they understand what it is, and this is okay. This is another example of event storming. This is another example of boards. We had this previous board, this one. One of the very talented team leads decided he will create a TFS extension in Microsoft Store for this board, and he just created it. And in the company, there are a few teams using it, few teams using different boards. The agility of using whatever you like, the agility to have your own ideas, and that the company will accept it. This is a different type of board with the team. This is the one from the TFS store, even more upgraded. So eventually we need to see the most important value, or not important, elevated value will be that we will get into the organization, and we will feel something in the culture that allows continuous experiments, trying new things, promote learning, empowerment. People are happy, as you said before. People are satisfied and motivated, and it all comes from those small signs that I talked to you before. I have a lot more pictures, but I think this is it, because it's all comes from the small stuff, or the small points of value to reach the culture of continuous improvement and empowerment. And that's basically it. Any question?
So one of the questions I had with with what we're just discussing, how do you, or what did you find were the most effective ways to make this visible, especially at a senior management level, so they see kind of the journey that the team's gone through and the realization or the accomplishments that have occurred over time?
Wow, this is not a simple question, very important one, because at the start point, they don't really understand the things that you understand. Mm-hmm. You cannot show them signs of mindset. Yep. They don't understand what it is. So when we set the goals, I try to figure out what do they think about the goals, and I really write it down. And when I present the evaluation, I present it in a way of things that we would like to change. And after a few weeks or whenever we have this big status, because we have a lot of feedback points during the implementation, I refer to these goals and I start building over these goals what I think is related to Agile stuff. Like, let's say they wanted to improve the delivery of requirements, then in the status, I will start using the Agile jargon, like definition of done more clear, the ready is clear, we set end-to-end Kanban, we have grooming, we have smart user stories. I starting to relate it, and I really draw some imaginable graphs just to show something. I can show you something. I cannot share the name of the company. I assume you agree, you understand. So I will share it in a way that I make sure we will not see the name of the company. So you don't see my screen right now, right?
Right.
Not yet.
Okay. So what I do, is this thing. Okay. This is an example of an intuitive value. It means what are the things that they wanted to change. I took the journey between 0 to 10, the journey I thought that they made, okay? And the stars are where I think they should have been right now. So, and then I get to better things, but and then I have some other graphs which I feel some questionnaires to show them the real values, but the most important is the conversation over this one. For example, they wanted to have to improve quality, okay? So eventually, quality was improved significantly. No one can argue, because I know that. We have the statistics in different slides. I thought that they will be lower than this, but still it's not enough, okay? This is what I'm saying. We wanted to have better transparency of content to the management. I thought we will be very higher, much more higher than this. I thought we will be excellent by now, and we are not, and it's not enough. This is a conversation about where we are. Furthermore, to these slides, I can show them things that we filled out, questionnaires, where we were, where we are now, why do we think we are not so good, and other graphs. But this is mostly it. But I usually prefer the intuitive conversation around their goals and not around metrics.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions?
Yeah, maybe what is I'm having the issue on getting the right conversation with the management, and I was wondering, when you get in companies and stuff, what is your experience when you get in and management is asking something which is in divergence with what the team feels?
Wow.
Did
It
you have
happens
this?
100% of the time.
Okay. And is there any? I like to graph. I like everything, as we also starting to use this since a certain period, and it works. The thing is, except from the graph and being transparent in showing data that we can have conversation on, what others technique or things you do, especially with management?
I'll try to answer because I have a lot to say about it. Management are really, really hard. And they think they know the solution. They think they feel the solution. And we need to respect this because we get into their home. It's kind of, we open their fridge and we go into the bathroom, okay? This is as an Agile coach, this is what we know about them. We know everything. They are transparent and they know that. So we need to respect it. So sometimes they are really, really wrong in what they present as a solution. And I usually listen. And I'm just asking a few questions. And I'm trying to say, okay, let's leave it for further discussion because there is some information missing. Maybe some information regarding evaluation, or I need to take someone into one-on-ones and to try and explain the issue. Usually it's around organization change. They want to build the organization in a certain way. We need to understand why, and why not in a different way, even if it looks really, really strange for us. The other thing is that I found out that numbers and status meetings are really not so good for Agile coaches, because if management usually talk to us using a proxy of documentation or presentation or numbers, they will never get the point. So I make sure to talk to them all the time. So when they see the numbers, they already put inside the number whatever they think. So I try to finish my day and to start my day in a type of direct communication with my sponsor. It can be the chief technology, it can be the COO, it can be the CEO. Try to go by the office, say hi, say a few words, send him some things, some words in email, and say, I want to talk to you. I know you don't have time. I'm going to send you something. Very unofficial conversation and build this relationship. And it's not easy because they're always busy. They have a lot on their minds, but I cannot afford talking to them only with numbers and metrics because it will fail. It will fail my effort to provide value.
Hey, that's a great one.
Yeah, another thing that we do is what? What did you say?
It's a great one. I said the stuff with the daily communication and going behind the numbers.
Yeah.
It was somewhere in the back of my head. It's a great one. I have to digest this. It's going to take some time.
Yeah. It's hard because, but otherwise they will judge you by the numbers. You will never get out of the conversation about the numbers. Another thing that we do, we love to work in couples. We work in a dual coach model. So we always have two people in different times at the customer site. And we can play with the relationship and with the communication, and whoever is more is feeling more comfortable with one of the coaches, this will be the coach that will deliver the hard stuff, the messages, and will take over things that we want to give feedback on.
Cool.
It's like couple therapy with a couple.
Nice one.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any further questions, Chris?
No, not yet. I think I have to digest it already, and I already have some thought going through my mind, so I'm going to do some journaling tonight.
Okay. Feel free to contact me whenever you have any question.
Thank you. That's kind.
Okay. Sam?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I've been listening. My computer's, I'm in Africa, the internet's horrible, so it goes in and out, but I've been listening, and this was like one of the most comprehensive seminars we've had, right, Christian? Because you come to a lot of them.
Yeah, I come to a lot. I mean,
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really cool. And every time there's value in the seminar, and I was attracted by the paper you published, Shirley, and I'm at the right place. That's cool. Thank you for sharing everything tonight.
Thank you very much. I'm doing it for the fun, not for the publication.
And fun is cool.
Yeah.
I had fun tonight.
Yeah,
and,
me too.
I think I'm going to have fun for days to come thinking about aha moment I got tonight and how I can try and implement them.
Okay. Okay. So we're done?
Yeah, no, I think it's only supposed to be 45 minutes, so you've surpassed it.
Oh,
no,
I didn't know.
No, Shirley, it's been amazing. And we're going to put this on YouTube so people can watch it and get more views. And yeah, we'll promote it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for watching, and join next month. We'll be doing another one on June 16th.
Great. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
It was my pleasure. Bye.